A hush fell over the opulent studio. The air thrummed, thick with anticipation and dread. "Host, welcome to the family game. Tonight we play for the ultimate prize, your lives." A wave of nervous murmurs rippled through the audience. The Johnson family, huddled together, exchanged uneasy glances. Little Emma clutched her mother's hand, her eyes wide with fear. Across from them, the Smith patriarch, a burly man with a receding hairline, wiped sweat from his brow. The Williams family, their teenage son bouncing nervously on the balls of his feet, maintained a facade of calm. Host, remember, every right answer moves you a step closer to freedom. But a wrong answer, well, let's just say the consequences are dire. The game began. The first question flashed on the screen. What is the capital of Australia? The Smiths, after a hurried, whispered debate, answered Sydney. The buzzer blared, a jarring, discordant sound. Host, I'm afraid that's incorrect. The floor beneath the Smiths began to descend, a shrill scream escaping Mrs. Smith as they vanished into the shadows. A collective gasp arose from the audience, quickly stifled by the chilling sight of blood splattering across the stage from the abyss below. The message was clear. Failure meant death, The game continued, the air thick with anticipation and dread, the spectre of the Smiths' demise hanging heavy in the air, a constant reminder of the stakes. The tension was palpable, a tangible entity that pressed down on the remaining families, suffocating them. When it was the Johnsons' turn, their faces were ashen, drained of all colour. Their question, a seemingly simple math problem, proved to be their undoing, a cruel twist of fate. Mr. Johnson stammered, his face slick with sweat, as he struggled to calculate the answer, his mind a fog. His wife, tears streaming down her face, whispered uselessly in his ear. Time ran out. Host, tick-tock, time's up. Flames erupted from the stage around the Johnsons, engulfing them in a fiery embrace. Their screams were swallowed by the roar of the fire, a cacophony of terror. The audience watched, horrified, as another family was brutally eliminated, their fate sealed. The stench of burning flesh filled the air, a grim testament to the deadly stakes of the game, a haunting reminder of the cost of failure. Section 4, Hope and Despair, the Williams family. Only two families remained, the Williams and the Garcia family, locked in a fierce battle of wits and endurance. The pressure was immense, each tick of the clock a hammer blow to their sanity, echoing in the silence of the room.
The Williams family, known for their quick wit and general knowledge, managed to answer their questions correctly, their confidence unwavering. Their son, a prodigy in his own right, surprised everyone with his knowledge of obscure historical facts, leaving the audience in awe.
Hope, a dangerous flicker in the face of such despair, began to bloom in their hearts, a fragile light in the darkness. Their final question arrived. What is the smallest bone in the human body? The room held its breath.
The answer came to them instantly. The stapes, a tiny bone in the middle ear, a detail they had memorized long ago. They had won. They were going to be free. Relief washed over them like a tidal wave.
But their moment of triumph was short-lived. A cruel twist of fate awaited them. A sharp cry escaped Mrs. Williams as her son, moments after their victory was announced, clutched his chest and collapsed, the joy turning to horror. A single poisoned dart protruded from his back, a silent assassin in the midst of their celebration. Their victory was hollow, the price of their survival the life of their child, a devastating end to their journey. Section 5, a Pyrrhic victory. The Garcias, a family who had remained eerily silent throughout the ordeal, were the last ones standing. Their faces were etched with a mixture of fear and disbelief, as if they couldn't comprehend the nightmare they had just endured. They hadn't answered a single question, their silence a deafening testament to the horrors they had witnessed. Each moment of quiet was a scream in itself, echoing the trauma they had faced. The host, his grin wider than ever, approached them with a predatory gleam in his eyes. "Congratulations," he said, his voice dripping with false sincerity. "You've won the family game." His words felt like a cruel joke, a mockery of their suffering. But the Garcias felt no joy, only a numbing horror. Their victory was hollow, a reminder of the price they had paid. They had survived, yes, but at what cost? The weight of their experiences bore down on them, leaving them shattered. Their souls were stained with the blood and terror of the game. The memories of what they had endured would haunt them forever. "And remember," the host's voice echoed through the silent studio, his eyes gleaming with malice, "the game never truly ends." The crowd erupted in cheers, their applause a grotesque symphony of relief and bloodlust. The Garcia's nightmare was far from over, and the audience reveled in their despair.